everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And I've got this wonderful, wonderful panel with me. I've got Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hi, Laura.
Hi, everybody.
Good to have you here. We've got Shelley Murphy, our family tree girl. Hi, Shelley.
Good evening, everybody.
Thanks for being here. Dan, you can be last because you're the troublemaker. We've got Mary Kircher Roddy from MKR Genealogy.
Not a troublemaker.
Not ever.
Oh,
Never.
wait, the two of them? Come on.
I don't know. And then we've got Dan Earl, our family history guy. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Cheri.
He's like, see if I ever make faces to make you guys laugh again. Well, if you can believe it, we are on season 10 of Relative Race. Season 10, and I think we've been together, most of us, for the whole thing. I think we didn't do season 1, but man, this has been quite the journey for us to be able to meet these teams, have some of them come on to watch their journey, see who they're meeting. We can't go any further with the show tonight without talking about the announcement that Dan made last night in his journey with prostate cancer, as he announced that he had stage 4 prostate cancer, and let us know that he felt the love of his family and his fans and his friends. And we wanted to take a minute to, number one, tell Dan that we are praying for him, and we hope that he could feel all the love that GenFriends has for him. And we so hope and pray that he will be able to get healthy and be back to join us, hopefully by the next season of GenFriends. We wanted to share something that Season 6 Team Green, Deshay Pardon, is asking of everybody who is a fan of Dan, and that is to go blue for Dan. She wants you to send a picture of yourself or family wearing blue, or send a picture or note to support Dan. And so she's collecting those, and she wants them all by October 9th, because November happens to be Prostate Cancer Month. So we wanted to help Deshay get the word out, and you'll betcha that GenFriends will send a picture with blue to support Dan. So everybody watching, I want you to send that email to Deshay. If you're Facebook friends with her, she says she can take them through that way as well. So let's wear blue. Let's wear blue for Dan. Also, I wanted to tell you that I found, in case you're looking for some blue ribbons, I found that Amazon, and I'm not getting any money for this, I'm not trying to promote Amazon, but Amazon does have some blue, the light blue pins that you can order. They're pretty cheap. I think it was like $5. So that's another place where, and I'm going to get mine, and I'm going to wear it all through the season in support of Dan. So
I ordered one too.
Did you? Thanks for sharing that screen, Shelley. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, Bernice.
I got her.
Yeah, here she comes. Let's give Bernice a chance to come in. Hey, Bernice.
Hello.
So good to see you. We were just barely getting ready to get started, but we wanted to start by sharing our support for Dan and what he's going through right now. And we just shared that Deshay from season 6, Team Green, is asking people to send a photo of themselves wearing blue or a blue ribbon to support Dan. And so, and some of us have already ordered blue ribbons on the panel from Amazon, and we're going to be wearing those from now on. So just
okay.
Catch you up with that. So thanks for being here. We're so glad to see you.
Yes, I tell you, this was one of those stories, shows that was emotional from the beginning.
Exactly. Well, what we've done is some of the panelists, Bernice, have chosen a team to talk about, and they're just going to introduce the team to us, and then we'll start talking about what happened with each of those teams. So who'd like to go first? Anybody? Okay, Shelley. Shelley, you're muted. Man, I haven't had to say that on GenFriends in a long time, because we're always just talking.
I know. I'm going to introduce the red team. And so what's really unusual this season is that these two are not related. So we have Jamie and we have Alex. Do you want anything else?
Well, sure. Tell us why they're on their show, their backgrounds. Like, I know Jamie had a really tough background with games.
Well, actually, they probably both had
yeah.
a tough background. Jamie is one of 4 children that got adopted. The whole family, you know, him and his siblings all got adopted. He's out of New York, married, has a child and everything. And his background is he's a digital strategist, and I love that term.
Interesting.
So I think that will be interesting and to see what comes along. But you know, his mother was basically sick, and the kids were taken away in foster care.
Yeah,
but
he said they were abandoned in a subway station. They found him in a subway station. And his dad,
I thought that would come up later. You said don't say too much.
Well, no, just the background is fine. Just their background. Yeah.
But the big thing for me with Jamie and the path he's on is that they all got adopted together. And I think that's rare. Somebody took on 4 children. You know what I mean?
Shelley, I watched it twice and I didn't catch that part. That they were all adopted together.
There's a group picture they showed.
Okay, I missed that. I missed it somehow. So
did you catch that, Laura, too? I see you shaking your head.
Good. Somehow I thank you for bringing that up. And then we've got
again,
And then we've got Alex.
And then Alex is from Shepherdstown, West Virginia, which I'm very familiar with, but he kind of gets, raised in Richmond. So he's looking for his biological family.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go any further much on there, but he loves motorcycle and he's got a fabulous beard and stuff. And he is, his background, again, besides the motorcycles and everything, he was adopted at 18. But he's a musician and very into writing. I'm sorry?
18 months. Not 18.
Oh, what did I say? 18 years?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. 18 months. You're crossing in on, you're a slight delay for me coming on here. But he grew up in Richmond, Virginia. And again, he's seeking the biological family. But the whole musical aspects was very interesting, as far as his background and what he does. So it's going to be an interesting next 9 weeks. That's all I'm going to say about Team Red.
Thanks, Shelley.
So Shelley commented on the hair. It's going to give Joe Heinlein a run for his money in the hair.
Yes.
All right, Joe.
Good one, Mary. And you know he listens to the show.
That's funny, Mary. Mary, do you want to go ahead and talk about Team Green?
Sure. Okay. So Team Green is a father-daughter combo. Scott and Hannah Bradley. I have Bradley's in my surname, and I kind of like the father-daughter bit, so that's why I said I would introduce these guys. They are from Knoxville, Tennessee. Proudly height challenged.
I love that.
Yeah.
And they're my height.
They're my height.
He's 5'3" and she's 4'11". So and that he's married and has 2 kids from Knoxville. I forget if I said that. I think that was really all.
And he was adopted.
Oh yeah, and he's adopted, and he's looking for. I know he's looking for I think both parents, but I'm not sure.
And he'd found his mother. He got his original birth certificate. So he knew before the show what his biological mother's name is. So he had something starting out, which I thought was pretty great.
And very something cool for Mary to research.
And when they showed that, I went, there you go, Mary. I knew it. I thought, perfect. When you said you want to do Team Green, I was like, perfect. Of course she does. Perfect. Okay, so Laura, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm going to talk about Blue Team. So I wore my blue shirt. And they too are 2 people that didn't know each other beforehand and have just met. So it's Curtis, who is from Sacramento, and he said he was a part-time actor and he likes to do things for the community. So I assume that means with nonprofits, etc. And he didn't really say specifically who he's looking for other than biological, or I didn't catch it if he did. Sean is a little bit younger, and his story is that he's looking for a blood connection because he was born HIV positive. And he said he's looking for a blood connection kind of because he felt like his blood was always
That was so sad.
bad. And it was heartbreaking. And I think they're going to be really interesting. Sean is really open about dealing with emotional problems. He said he was diagnosed with depression at age 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he also kind of said he's looking for his mother's story as a way to understand his own story. And I think Alex said the same thing, kind of, that he's trying to figure out what makes him tick because he's different from his adopted family. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting storylines with those two, and they seem to get along great. So I don't know, maybe you're on good behavior with total strangers. Like if someone makes a wrong turn, you don't yell, "Not there." You kind of like, "Ooh, I'm not sure that was the right choice."
It's still day one. Give it time.
Yeah, it's still day
Yeah.
one.
I think it'll work out
I hope
wonderful.
so, yeah.
No
Yeah.
different than a husband and a wife,
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe,
arguing.
yeah, it's
And
gonna be
we've
really
seen that
interesting.
season after season, husband and wife or brother, sister.
This is going to be
or whatever.
quite the social experiment.
Yeah.
Well, and as it does progress, they'll get closer and closer emotionally, and they'll be able to feel like they can express
Yeah.
anger towards each other, where now they're holding that back.
Mhm.
You know, in a few days, they're not gonna have those same reservations. You know, it's,
Probably.
you know, I'm much different around my in-laws now than I was the first time I met them. You know, a little bit more relaxed now, 20 years later. So.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but me too, but 32 years in, I would not yell at my mother-in-law for making a wrong turn.
It's too funny. Oh, but it's worth how many, thousands of dollars. So maybe,
Right.
you never know. Dan, you want to tell us about Team Black? They are very
right.
interesting.
They are. So it's Jansen and then another Jamie.
Yeah.
And they are from Arkansas, and they own a health food store of some ilk where they sell health stuff, which in my sort of headcanon of Arkansas, I didn't think that happened, but hey, that's fantastic. There's videographic
Not to insult
proof.
the people in Arkansas.
Yeah, well,
Thanks,
I'm just saying, I'm sure they have misconceptions about Michigan. It's like we're up here just doing nothing but playing hockey and making cars, I mean,
That's about what you're doing up
yeah.
there.
And we have this conception of, everyone's related in Arkansas, and that may or may not turn out to be correct. I'm just
Dan,
saying.
I think you should stop.
Yeah.
or
I'm
We're
just
gonna
gonna
get
stop
hate mail.
right there. But
getting
they're
deeper
father and
there.
son. So Jamie's known Jansen his whole life.
These are some really good teams. You often wonder, that they put these teams together and they choose people to be on the show. And every time we end a season, we think, are we going to like these other teams as much as we like the last teams? And I can see us just falling in love with each of these teams. Their stories are so compelling, and the things that happen to them on day one, which we'll get to in a second. But
you're absolutely right. I was
Right in.
I was almost sad right before the show started. I'm like, oh, it's going to be all new people. We're not going to, you know what I mean? You're already kind of missing the last season.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and you're already all totally invested.
Exactly. It was interesting that they started at Chimney Rock. So they fly everybody into Chimney Rock, North Carolina, which is, if you've never been there, it's gorgeous. You need to visit it. And they're celebrating the beauty of America on this season, is what they said. So what I thought was really cool. Well, first of all, let's talk about they were handing them their stuff, but before they got all their stuff, they had to talk to Jansen and Jamie and say, we've got a little bit of a problem. We have found your dad and your grandpa, but he's very, very sick. And so they announced to all the teams that they had already taken them to go see him and meet his grandpa and father before the show even started, which that's I don't remember them ever doing something like that before, but maybe they have. I don't remember it though. Does anybody? And the fact that they let the TV crew into the hospital, I thought was interesting. But of course, they didn't show anything. They just could hear him talking and talking to him.
Just a little audio.
We did have one team.
Did we?
That well, it was a different set of circumstances, but it was the two brothers that couldn't drive, and so their dad.
Oh yeah, they met their dad. Yeah. So that was similar.
That's right.
Yeah.
The one dad. Yeah.
Not quite as emotional, but
yeah. So I thought it was interesting that they, got into the family allowed them to come in and film at least the audio and take a couple of pictures, and it was sweet. They said the prayer and asked that he'd be allowed to get well, and they'd be able to be able to talk to him and make some connections, and he'd be able to get to know them. And as of day one filming, he was home from the hospital. They thought he wasn't going to make it. He was in critical conditions, COPD and heart failure, and they thought
congestive heart failure.
Yeah, congestive heart failure. So they thought that he was not going to make it. But as of day one, so by day two, they better be sending him to his house. So they can get there. So why waste time, right? They better go to his house. Anyway, so I thought that was really another interesting beginning, because you never know when Real Live Race comes on what's going to happen the first day. Things are always changing. Then they hand them their phones. Who wants to talk about the phones they gave to them?
I made smartphones.
I want to talk about the phones, because when I first saw those phones, and I said, "What, smartphones? Oh, they're going to be able to do all of the things that the others could not do." Wrong. They were excited, and then they said, "No,
everything's disabled."
I'm going to use these phones to take pictures."
That's right.
In text.
Yep. Text, that's not so smart. We took all the smart out, but we wanted you to make sure you took some really nice pictures. Now, I don't know. I know I voted. Did you guys vote? A couple of months ago, they asked for the fans to vote. Every day we had 4 pictures to choose from. You could go look at the pictures. You didn't know who took them, and you just chose the photo that you liked for that day. They didn't say why. They just said it had something to do with the show, that we would be part of making decisions for the show. So, I dutifully went in.
I did too.
And I
only voted once.
I didn't see it at all. How did you see that?
It was on social media.
But on Facebook, or where was it?
Facebook. It was on Instagram. I saw it more on Instagram than anywhere else.
Instagram is where I saw it.
Yeah. But I believe it was on Facebook as well. But we had no idea what we were voting for. We just chose, they just said, choose the best pictures. And that's why they got these cameras, because every day they're going to get a subject to take a photo of. And they've got a half an hour where their time stops. And they've got that half an hour to go take their best photo and submit it to Dan. And then we get to see which pictures we chose, because we didn't know.
But that also replaces the fact that's been accustomed to something in the past seasons.
Yes,
there's no more selfies.
Exactly.
So we have the photographs that they're going to be taking in place of
Yeah.
that. So I think this is kind of cool. Which,
fun.
they're traveling and they're going to these places. Why not? But there seems to be a theme going along with the photos too.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch that? That he said there was some kind of they'll send them a topic theme and then they take the pictures.
Yes, it's got to be of a topic. And so then what happens is, after the results every day, he will announce whose picture won, and that takes 5 minutes away from their time. So that could really start messing with everybody's, the shifting of who really came in first, second, third, and fourth. So, because sometimes they're so tight that 5 minutes could take the last team and put them right back at the top, So that's really a game changer. These photos are really a game changer. And I felt bad because some people thought that they were supposed to go vote last night. But that wouldn't have been fair because we would have known who took what picture. And so
Right,
you would have voted for your favorite team. So they had to do it ahead of time when we didn't know who took what picture.
Well, and plus they can't, because it factors into what their prize is. So they couldn't have awarded the prize if they were expecting people to vote last night.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wouldn't have made sense. So
It wouldn't have made sense. Exactly. So we'll get to who did all that in a minute, but oh, isn't Chimney Rock beautiful? It's so beautiful. And they were taking those pictures and they were trying so hard to take those pictures, and they did some really great pictures. I thought they ended up turning in some really great pictures. So that
and Chimney Rock is hard. Like you go climbing up and you think you're going to get this beautiful viewpoint, and it's not then where you want to be is like where you really can't get to.
Yeah.
Are there some big family standing there
in your way, and you can't take the picture? So and I think that isn't it one of them on Team Red? Is it Sean that takes photos? And then I think maybe
it's just very creative because he's the musician.
And then Jansen, I think, does pictures. Into photography for Team Black. So they made
the two Jamies, right?
Yeah, there are two Jamies. It's a Jamie on Team Black and a Jamie on Team Red. So that's gonna be starting
to put them together and just had it be Team Jamie.
Yeah, they could have. Why didn't they? They should have. What were they thinking? They didn't ask us. That's why. So anyway, then they get their destinations where they were going outside for Team Black. They had flown all the way from Arkansas for day one. And where are they going? Back to Arkansas.
Yes.
Right back to Arkansas. We had one team go to Richmond. We had one team people kept driving through South Carolina on their way. I was not amused. Why don't I ever see the teams out on the screen? That would be so nice. Anyway, I'm like, stop driving through South Carolina. I'm not letting me know you're here. So anyway. So we got one going.
The producers have been warned. That's why they don't notify you. They know what would happen.
Better. And I bet Dan told them too.
They know I would just go help. I would just go help. I'd find some way to help.
I was in Richmond. You know, I would have went to Richmond.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
You can't stop by Mary's house because otherwise Mary would be like, okay, well, I've got your family tree chart already done. It's so I apologize that it's only
Mary
5
will have the microphone and the computer right there. She's ready to go.
Give me 2 more episodes. 2 more episodes and we'll get you all the way back. We'll get you all the way back.
Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny.
But that was interesting though, that they went right back. Team Black to where they came from,
exactly,
which started their mind just churning.
It started mine too.
Yeah, especially when they pulled into where they pulled into.
Right. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about where they pulled into, Dan. Where they pulled into?
They pulled into a school, and there was I noticed that it seemed like there was a stray dog out in front of the school in one shot. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I just noticed that. And
because you're a school teacher, that's why.
Because I'm a school teacher and I'm also deathly afraid of dogs.
Oh,
so I was attacked by a dog when I was a kid, and so people will comment and be like, "Oh, you would love my dog." No, I wouldn't. It's a soulless killing machine. All of them. I don't care if it's a Chihuahua.
That's how I feel about cats.
All of them. Cats are fine. They have just this casual indifference towards everything, and I kind of appreciate that. Anyway, there's a dog. They get to the front door and there's a sign. Tells them to go to room 8, and they're walking down the hallway and Jansen's like, I think that's Miss Turner's room.
Yeah.
And like, how does he remember that? Like, I don't remember where, like, the room of my 3rd grade teacher, you know, like I remember who my 3rd grade teacher is, Miss Simpson, in case she's watching. But
small town, people only move in and out. That's
small, very small town. And they had the same 3rd grade teacher.
Yes.
Yeah. And
This
she's
is
still
gonna
there.
be fun.
Yeah.
Because you see the writing on the wall.
Oh, yes. They do,
Everybody.
literally on the wall. So
They're
they
gonna
find
be
out that,
related to everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
well, so they find out that their collective third grade teacher was their cousin, is his dad's cousin or grandpa's cousin.
Yes.
And she
Yeah.
takes them to see photos of the parents from
Mhm.
graduation
Graduating
photos
the
of,
dad's
classes, yeah.
of the dad's parents, of Jamie's parents. And then when they see the last name of the dad, Foshi, I don't know, there might have been a little bit of panic in Jansen's eyes. Like, I dated a Foshi. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, did he kiss a Foshi? Because that would be weird. Plot twist. Like, yes, that's what we've been waiting for.
He
Some
said,
scandal
I went
on
to
this
school
show.
with some
Oh,
Foshis. What the son said, I
Oh.
went to school
School
with
with
them.
some Foshis,
And Mr.
yeah, and
Turner
there's-
says, yes,
you know.
you did.
Yeah. And I'm
but
breaking up with my girlfriend, Diana Foshi, right after this show.
I thought it was interesting that the teacher, the cousin said, you're going to be very surprised at the people that you're related to in this town. I'm thinking, they probably won't ever leave the town. No,
Right?
Yeah.
there's going to be no travel time for them every day. It's just, okay,
Your
around the
allotted
corner.
time is 14 minutes.
Just go around the corner and yeah.
But
This
didn't you realize her, I'm going to say connection emotion to them,
Mhm.
hugging them, my
Mhm.
baby, you know, this is the third grade teacher of the daddy and the son.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the idea, and I can't quite remember. She didn't know until all this,
No, she
you know,
didn't.
started and stuff. And so now a whole world has opened up, but those
Exactly.
small little towns, everybody's related.
Everybody's related. And I guess
Yeah.
we probably should share that what happened was his mother got in a car wreck. Well, she was hit by two
Yeah.
cars that were drag racing.
Yeah.
So she was killed, but she never told.
Said
his
who the daddy
mom.
was.
She never told. And so he was raised by his grandparents. So he knows who his mom is, but he has no idea. Well, he knows it.
Mrs.
Day one,
Turner
he
sure
knows.
showed him who daddy was.
Day
isn't
one, he knew because they
Turner
already
the
had to
first
go see him.
cousin?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Is she the first cousin
Yes.
Of the
on her
father.
father's
Of the
side?
father.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
on the father's side.
But we
And
got to
he's
Like a
remember,
third cousin. She wasn't a first cousin, I don't think.
Oh, I thought she said it was dad's first cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Lovo's
first cousin.
Yeah.
That I remember.
So Jamie's dad's first cousin. So they would be
Yeah.
second cousins.
So
Yeah.
regardless of the cousin thing, at that point they already knew because she knew he was sick
Mhm.
and she knew.
Right.
And she's the one that said, and he's gone home. He's home now.
And he's home and he's
Doing better.
He's doing better. He's
Yeah.
doing better.
He's doing better. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a very, very interesting.
And kind of emotional too.
Yeah, because he's going to realize all his life he had all this family around him
And he
didn't
felt he
know
didn't
it.
have anybody but those grandparents.
Right. And it's one thing to find out in other seasons, oh, you lived 5 miles away from me, or you lived, in the same state. But around the corner, I went to school with
Yes.
you. That's crazy. That's crazy. So
No,
I
that
love
happens. That does
Yeah.
I
happen.
love it.
yeah, so this is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they like them. Can you imagine? Oh, that's the
Yeah.
grocery store clerk I've always hated.
That's
All the
what-
fight.
That woman has been rude to me since I was.
Oh no. You know what I loved about Team Green? What I loved about Team Green was number one, poor Hannah. She really, she was in tears, just
The emotion.
and
Yeah.
her
God,
emotions were so, and she was like, these are real people that know us. She was just having a hard time. But I loved when her dad says, you all have my nose.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That
Somebody
was cute.
was
Did
so
you
cute.
guys catch him? And I'm saying this just because of what I look like. Did you catch Green Team Dad when he was going up the ladder when they're going to take the picture? Did y'all hear what he said?
What did he say?
He said, I'll
Uh-oh.
leave it alone.
Shelley,
I gotta-
all right, when you get your act
He
together.
said, I'm fat, man.
Oh. Oh,
And I thought, I'm 5 foot just under, and I thought, there's no way I'm climbing those steps, you know, and he called it out and they got it. It's on there. He said
You
the
mean,
stairs
you mean when they were at Chimney Rock?
taking the photos.
taking
He
the
was
photos. Yeah, that
and
was
he
really
said
funny.
that.
That
And I
was
thought, oh God, I can relate. I can relate. That was tough. But so again, the whole personality and friendliness and stuff is going to come out. So we're going to enjoy this season.
We're going to enjoy this. Yeah, this team.
Yeah.
All of this team. Well, he met his great uncle, right?
Yes.
So that means
Great uncle.
So that means that the great uncle is a brother or sister to one of his grandparents, right? Did they say if it was paternal or maternal? I didn't catch that. So
I don't think so.
I'm not sure, because that's what a grand uncle is your grandparent's sibling. So
I did write down on his mother's side.
Okay, on his mother's side.
Maternal. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So they know the information, and it must be so hard. And we've heard from teams before that it's so hard because they go to meet these relatives, and these relatives know who their mother or father, their biological parents are, but they can't tell them, or that they've got a brother or sister, but they can't tell them, or because they can't, that they just want to spew it all out, but they can't. So that's got to be really hard, but that's how fun for them. So they made a really great connection to Team Blue.
And it was the great uncle and the daughter, and then you got
his daughter,
the dad and the daughter.
Yeah.
So again, that's another thing.
Right. So Team Blue with Sean, his story is something, when, Laura was alluding to it when she was introducing us to them. He goes and he meets his aunt, his mother's sister, but then
mother's half sister,
and then she says, well, actually, I'm the half sister, and then she says. And she kept saying my mother, not our mother. So that's leading me to believe that maybe
I doubt that was odd.
No.
Maybe they had the same father, because she kept saying my mother.
My mother gave you up for adoption.
And she gave a picture.
My mother. Yeah. And so I'm thinking they must have the same fathers, the girls.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't catch. I did hear her say my mother.
Yeah.
But I didn't interpret it that way.
The picture of her and her mother.
Her and her mother, and yeah, his mother wasn't in there. You would think she would have said our mother gave her
maybe, but I felt like it was more her kind of. I would be very awkward, like how to explain that without condemning your own mother.
Mm-hmm.
It says your mother was in the household. My mother sent her away.
Yeah.
That's
we'll have to see how this one plays out, because I was trying to figure it out is what I was trying to do. I was trying to figure it out because figure it out, Mary. Before, that's just how it seemed to me when she said that. And she said that his mother was a year younger than her. And then when she was 11, her mother gave her over to social services
due to behavior problems.
And I have heard of that happening, that she was a danger to the family, and because she had mental issues, I suppose, and then it turns out that she had HIV, and that's of course how he was born.
Right, but maybe not at 11.
He had AIDS is what they said. And then, but did anybody else catch this? They showed the photo of Sean and his mother. Mm-hmm. Somebody knows where she is and got that picture.
Right, but Heidi, the half sister,
because she didn't know anything about him.
She said, I'm not sure if she's still alive or not.
He was still alive, so they didn't.
But she's not sure if she's still alive now. But that doesn't mean that she wasn't sure at the time Sean was born.
Right. So
she had to have been alive.
He was born. This is true. But my point is,
all right, Mary, enough with the logic.
My point is, where did that picture come from? Did her sister have it? It kind of sounded like they really didn't keep in touch after she left when they were children. So somebody along the way in relative race found,
I
you
think
know,
it's somebody in
information.
relative race land, kind of like,
Exactly.
sure, you can introduce.
And then you can introduce this picture so he can see his mom. And he said, I had forgotten what she looked like. But he was 15 months old, you know.
How does he remember how old I mean, how does he remember his mom?
Well, maybe he
at 18 months old or however old he was. I mean, seriously.
I'm sorry, Shelley. Dan.
I see what he wrote.
Yeah.
Dan, you want to tell everybody the rule of genealogy?
The first rule of genealogy, wherever someone was born, their mother was there too.
Okay, thank you.
Second rule
The
of
dad could be on
genealogy.
the other side of the planet, could be in outer space, but mom is there.
She's
Second
close
rule of
by.
genealogy is Dan can make my middle finger itch.
So coming back to that, was that a picture of his mother and him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. Somebody knows what happened to her, where she went. Somebody knows something because
Okay, this is only
But
the
she had
first
him-
night, guys.
right. She had him.
We're
She
really
had him
racking
for
it up.
she had him for 15 months, and she took care of him.
15
So
months.
somebody knows what happened, at least at the beginning, because they were able to share the picture. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm
so-
saying. Yeah.
Sounds like mama to me.
So my hat's off to relative race for going ahead and approaching the story, because this is a very difficult story.
Yes.
Yes.
An 11-year-old that is sent away. I mean, that's so hard to think
Yeah.
about that.
Well,
That
okay,
you're-
now he would remember his mother. That's right. He was 11.
No,
No,
she
no.
was sent
was
away.
11. Okay.
But, and I'm not condemning the family. I'm saying
No.
that there were issues that
Mhm.
that child had such issues at 11 that
Yeah.
happened, you know, and so I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and it is a hard situation. I mean, she had AIDS. He was born HIV infected, you know, all that kind of stuff, all of his mental problems and things like that. That's
this is-
hard. It's a hard story. They didn't shy away from it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I think it is hard because a lot of times the people on the show, they have someone they can trust to be with them to support them
Yes,
through this.
yes.
Through this. And he has Curtis, who may turn out to be the best support network anybody ever had, but still,
Mhm.
he doesn't have that benefit.
Because we don't know Curtis's story yet, really.
Nope.
No,
But you want to know what really got me was
What's that?
when he said, I always felt alone.
Mhm.
I started tearing up at that. That just got me right there. That was difficult. All of this coming through and being able to, you know, he's on a journey here. No
Yeah,
telling what he's gonna find.
And he's on a journey basically by himself because he doesn't know this guy yet. You know, they've known each other.
Exactly.
for
So I think
for
they
2
will
whole
grow
weeks.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully.
I hope so too. I mean, Curtis seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah,
So.
he does.
And
Um,
he's observing this and
Yeah.
seeing that pain. And of course, I'm going to say that child went through, and
Yeah.
here he is an adult seeking his parent. And I just didn't get Curtis's story yet. Was he?
No, they
adopted?
didn't. They
Yeah,
didn't
they
tell us
didn't.
much.
So we're about to do it. It's going to be interesting
It's gonna be
because
really
he's the
interesting.
only one we really don't know anything about
Yeah.
that I heard.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about Team Red and Alex. Oh my goodness. I mean, really? Day one?
Day one.
Day one.
And Daddy didn't know about him.
He walks
at
up and he
all,
says, "Hey,
and
I'm your
don't
dad."
remember his name.
Yeah, it was so
That-
quick. It was, yeah.
That was the most like casual,
Yes.
nonchalant introduction of a biological parent in relative race history. Like he's
I
just
agree.
like,
I'm your
I'm your
dad.
dad.
I'm your dad. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was so.
Sky's blue, grass is green. I'm your dad.
I like
But you
motorcycles.
could tell from looking at him. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
as soon as they
yeah.
showed him, I'm
Yeah.
like, that's his dad or like
Yeah.
a close uncle. Like that is,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah.
then the photograph with now he knows he has a younger brother,
Yes,
Michael.
Michael.
Right.
Exactly,
And he-
Michael.
His dad, young, looked just like him, except for the color of hair.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
Mary, where does
The
Michael
beard.
live? Tell us about him.
Do what?
I asked Mary to tell us all about his little brother, Michael.
She's,
They haven't told
she's
me.
already calculated. See, we can't see the typing going on in this. that,
He's a
and
Pisces.
Okay, the
He likes
quiet
broccoli.
one, Bernice is trying to get a word in edgewise.
Okay, Bernice.
Go ahead, Bernice.
Okay. One thing I picked up about the dad was he made it very clear as soon as he met the young man, I did not know that you existed.
Exactly.
You know,
That's
it's
right.
almost like, don't jump on me. I
Yeah.
didn't know. I just found out a month ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
But he
don't
did
remember your mother.
And I don't remember your mother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he would have raised him.
Yep. He said,
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you didn't know-
Would
absolutely.
have raised him because he raised the Michael, the
Mhm.
brother.
And by himself, he
yeah.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. That's just
So
amazing.
again, we got some bizarre stories
We got
out here,
some-
but you know what? That's everyday living, and we know
It is
people
every
that
it
have
is everyday
the very
living.
same situations and
Yeah.
stuff.
And I'm thinking for him to find dad on day one, what else do they have in store for him to find dad? I mean, we're not even building up to dad. Dad's already been found. So,
But his
Well, but
teammate
that's
has a
also the
bunch of
big
relatives
but his
too.
teammate too
Yeah.
needs to find a bunch of people.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
also the link though. Dad's out here now.
Mhm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
finding dad at the beginning,
Mhm.
you know, there'll be others that link up, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Well, I
this
think that'll
year
be
is
more.
gonna be interesting.
Well,
Go
I think
ahead,
it'll be more interesting too, because when you have those teams where it's just the one person looking, and then their tremendously supportive spouse is going with them, who knows all their family, and it's just kind of like
Yeah.
you just go to the door and we know who they're looking for. But with
Yeah.
this, since they don't know each other,
Yeah.
every place is going to be a genuine like, whose relative is this? And,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, just
What
this
did
like.
he say with Curtis?
That was
Can I
cute. He
take
says,
an
I'm assuming.
assumption?
I take the assumption that but it's going to be somebody every time because they only have half the space to tell that story,
Yeah.
That's right.
you know.
That's
So there's
right.
that's compacted into,
point.
you know,
Yeah.
so that we're going to see more and more of
I
those
think
sort of
there's gonna
big
be
emotional
some
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
shocking
did,
reveals.
it
Awesome.
did feel almost though, like they just drew that one out of a bingo roller thing, like B7, father, you're gonna get on day
Except-
one.
You know, with the two different people, there's also some geography issues here. I mean, it was really interesting on this one that they all drove to their place and there were long drives. I mean, there was like, you know,
12
10 and
hours.
11-hour drives.
Mhm.
So it really was a long way to go.
Yeah,
but
they
they're-
didn't put him back on that plane to Arkansas.
right. If we've got somebody I mean, they start in North Carolina, going to Richmond, and then the other guy came from Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're going up the coast, and
Yes.
and they, you know, if dad is geographically desirable here or whatever,
Yeah,
proximate.
that closest.
So,
The
Exactly.
routing might have made that difference. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Such
Oh,
an
that's-
interesting start to the season. You know, you always think, what are they going to do different? It's just going to be the same, but they always do something. They always,
But you know, it's what the viewers are the ones that are in the total panic of like, what? You know, it's keeping us engaged because we're also trying to figure it out,
right.
you know,
Exactly.
and
But
it's
Exactly.
a
I
lot
don't
of
think-
assumptions.
I don't think Alex was expecting on the first day either.
Oh, no.
I think he was pretty bowled over.
Yeah.
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 He was
And I
like,
think his companion on this, Jamie, was too. The look on his face was like,
It's
What?
like, man. Yeah.
and he's probably thinking, well, great, if they could find his dad, maybe they found mine, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
that would give you hope. And then of course, you know, you're getting into the story, you're getting to love the teams, and then they have to daggum go and sit down and do their do the results. And you're like, but it is a
So
game.
we have no competition this season. Did y'all get that?
Well, I think it was just this first.
Yeah, I think that was just day
Okay.
one. Yeah.
So
It's just
maybe
day one. Day one takes a
next
little
week.
longer because, you know, they're talking about the race and they're getting things ready. And so I think there'll be a challenge
Yeah.
on day two.
Okay.
I believe.
But they have the photos throughout.
Yeah, and that's just taking the place of the selfies. I
Right.
think. I guess we'll.
Yeah, that's what he said.
see.
No more
Yeah.
selfies.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll
Yeah.
see. So then we all gather together for Dan to talk to everybody and tell everybody what's going to happen and what their results were. And I'm always
We'll be
like,
in our baby blues.
oh. So anyway, I love it. Again, you can tell they spent some time together. And they usually do. They have the team spend a little bit of time together to kind of get to know each other before that first day. And just right from the get-go, just from day one, they were really supporting each other with this conference call.
Yeah.
You could just see it. You could just see them engaged in that story. It wasn't like, when's it my turn? When's it my turn to, to tell? They were very engaged and so excited that Sean had found his dad. They're all like, what? And just it was really great. I think they all were really good about supporting one another. So I hope that continues. And there wasn't any trash texting other than not being able
Appalachian.
to Appalachian,
and
correctly.
Appalachian.
Appalachia.
The apples.
The Appalachia. I'm going to throw an Appalachia,
Yeah.
she said.
Yeah.
So, but they don't really know each other good enough for that trash talking to start yet. But
Oh, they know enough.
But they know enough, so probably will happen. So results. Anybody else besides me want to give the results? Somebody, anybody?
Well, tell about the photo because that altered.
Well, it
The
did, but
result.
we didn't find out about the photo until after. we got
Correct,
the
which
result.
altered the
Which
result.
altered the result. So, let's see. Team Blue came in first, then
Yep.
Team Red, then Team Black, and then Team Green.
Right.
But
The
then
two hybrid teams took first and second.
I know hybrid teams. I love that. But then we hear Dan, and when Dan says, however, something's about to change. So he says, however, he says, remember the photos that you took. And he said, he explained that the fans had voted on him. And Team Red's photograph, that beautiful with the rocks. It was gorgeous.
That's the one I voted for.
That's the one I voted for too. And which is great because we didn't know which team, we didn't
I
know.
just thought that was unique.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really pretty.
So they
It was.
won, and so it flipped it. So now their time was first, and then Blue was second. Yeah. And they got a benefit. Do you guys remember what the benefit is for day 2?
Yeah,
They
they
penalize
can
all the rest of them.
penalize everybody some
Yeah.
kind of a way.
Yeah, some kind
And then
Well,
there's the
they weren't going to make
5-minute
them
thing.
choose.
do
like-
what?
He
They
said
weren't going to make
all.
them choose.
They weren't
Because
gonna
in the
make 'em-
past,
They've made them choose.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't play
Yes.
along.
They wouldn't play along. So I guess it's
Yeah.
easier if you have to penalize everybody since you're not
Yeah.
not picking on somebody. So that'll be interesting to see what they give them for a penalty. So Bernice, you said you wanted to say something about the dad? Or
I
am
said
I
this earlier.
you said what you
said
wanted to say earlier? I'm sorry, I
Yes.
just caught that. I'm sorry. Okay. This was a good first start. I think it was a good first day. A little bit emotional at the beginning with Dan, and like I said, we wish him well. And again, all of you relative race supporters, and those of you that watch GenFriends, that like to watch GenFriends because of our coverage of relative race, we encourage you to please support Dan by taking that photo and sending it to Deshay so that she can create whatever she's planning on creating to help support Dan through this. And again, we will be here all the way through season 10, talking the stories, the emotions, the challenges. I can't wait for the challenges to start because those are always so crazy, and the photos that we get to see. We voted on them. Those of us that voted on them. Now we get to go look and see what was going on when they were taking them. And I hope that, I was starting to think, what am I going to go think back and go, oh, I should have voted on that one because that would have kept that team in,
Yeah.
So I might.
Because at first I thought the flag one was going to get it just with.
I wonder
you
when
know,
they
the-
filmed that. Did you
the-
notice that the flag was half staff? So I'm trying to figure out.
Green.
No, because this
Green.
would have been filmed a long time ago. So
Well, you were voting.
But
Can we-
how long ago?
but I don't remember. It was sometime this summer, I thought that we had done that. But
They were started filming it right when season 9 ended. Like it
That's
was almost
right.
like
That's right.
yeah,
But
so
what
I
was
don't remember
happening
why.
in
I don't-
half-staff?
I don't remember why the flag would have been half staff. So don't know.
Okay, Mary. We
Somebody-
want to know
No, you
a year
have to go
ago.
look at your Instagram account and
Yes,
look at your Instagram activity, and then you can figure it
exactly.
out.
But I'll
When were you
bet
voting
you
on pictures?
somebody watching this will go, guys, it was whatever, and
and
we'll
put it in
say,
the comments.
and then we'll
We'll
go,
share that next week when we meet.
yeah, somebody will tell us. We'll
And
and
Mary
we'll
knows
all-
the names of the people that raised that flag on that particular day, their home addresses, and who their grandparents are, but can't remember the holiday.
And the ship.
We love you, Mary. We say this because you're such a good researcher. That's why you're such a good genealogist. So that's why we tease you.
She's an investigator,
She
not a
is.
Yeah.
detective. It's an investigator.
Yeah, we want to stay on your good
Scotland
side.
Yard.
You want to
No,
say on your good
Ireland.
side. Is there
You're too dangerous to be on your bad side.
is there
I can
anything
find
we
you?
missed? I can find you. Is there anything we missed that we didn't talk about from this day one? I think we caught everything.
You notice that they gave on Team Red on Alex, they said the name of the parents that raised him. They
Oh,
gave
yeah.
their full
They
names.
did.
Did y'all
give their full
catch
name.
the
Yeah, they
names? And I'm
did. They
not
did.
sure if that all totally came out in other seasons.
Yeah.
And even though
It
they
was
were
just depends.
acknowledging the
Yeah.
adopted parents, but we got
Right.
names.
Yeah, we got names. Oh,
The
I know what.
Gillette.
I know one other thing is their little backpacks had all that photography equipment in it. So they didn't
Yeah.
just give them the phones. They actually gave them filters and all sorts
Because
of.
they had to edit them too, remember? on the
Yes, I forgot
phone.
about that. So not only are they going to have to run over the cameras, but this bag of stuff so they can take good pictures. So I thought that was great that they gave them
Yeah.
something to edit with. So
I'm anxious to hear more about Jamie Red Team's story
yeah,
and the four and his siblings, because not only is he on that path,
yeah,
he's one of four.
yeah.
So when he finds out, you got three others
Exactly. I hope they
kind
all
of sitting back and
hope we can
waiting.
find them all. Hope we
Yeah.
can find them all.
What happened? What's your
Yeah.
story?
Exactly.
You know, type thing. So
It'll-
it'll
Mary,
be
were you gonna say something?
Yeah, just that I wonder if the finale is going to have anything to do with photography, because they really are
Oh,
wanting them to put skills to work here
yeah,
with the editing
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see if there's a connection there.
yeah. Because why give them all that
And what
stuff
was the
just for
theme
one day
called?
of
Something America?
oh,
City
celebrating America?
Celebrating America.
Yeah,
America's
Or
beauty or
250
something
years
like
ago.
that.
celebrating America's beauty. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So.
I was thinking maybe it connected to 250, but that's not till 2026. You know what I mean? Trying to think of what,
Why they
what's
chose
coming
it?
up
Why they
for
chose it?
celebration. Yeah.
I'm kind
And
of
maybe it's
hoping. I don't
not
know that
even
they did it,
one.
but I kind of would like to see, especially maybe at the finale, since it's been 10 seasons, some of the other teams come and be on. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
Somewhere
that would
through
be
the
good.
season. But it's too late now to take my suggestion. You've already filmed it. So
It's filmed.
it's filmed, it's done. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. And we're on this journey to day 10. So this is going to be fun. It's like we get this, we're always like, okay, we're on day 1 and it's going to be so long for day 10. But the next thing we know, we're on the finale. It seems to go by so fast, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And with that, we thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy this season of Relative Race as well. And let us know your thoughts and comments about the things that happen on each of the days. We love to hear from you. And with that, we'll say bye till next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one.